Greetings, my friends. Thank you for watching this video, and if you would be so kind, please subscribe if you like what you see. Help our channel to keep growing and keep fighting the war to save pop culture. Together, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy. Enjoy, and thanks. My friends, just when you thought that the woke pod people of the world could not possibly do more damage to Western civilization, yet another woke threat surfaces, and it will chill the bones of any sensible human being who cares about freedom of speech and, yes, even freedom of thought. I come to you today with a cautionary tale, a canary in the digital coal mine that signals a stunning and brave new world where speech online is electronically suppressed by what could become the most relentless and totalitarian censor in the history of the world. You may think this is exaggeration, alarmist hyperbole, but I believe this is the early stage of what could be one of the most important videos I've ever made. I urge you to inform yourself about this issue and watch this video through to the end as I attempt to not only share this news with you, but make it quite clear what this news implies and why I regard this as a horrific threat to free people around the world.
This is another video about Kathleen Kennedy, isn't it? Or perhaps Alex Kurtzman, whose abuse of Star Trek is what launched your channel in the first place?
No, gentlemen. This is not about a threat to pop culture specifically. This is about a threat to everyone who dares to speak their mind on social media, online forums, and who knows, eventually this technology could even intervene in phone calls between friends and family in the near future. I'm talking about the latest attempt by SJWs to use artificial intelligence to shut you up whenever you voice or type an opinion that the woke powers that be think you shouldn't be uttering. Yesterday, the great Christopher Rufo, who regularly exposes woke overreach and propaganda on his Twitter feed, exposed a new bit of government overreach that could have grave implications for the future. This is what Rufo tweeted, quote, "The federal government is now funding an initiative to train AI to censor social media content. This NSF-backed program promises to detect and intervene in cases of gendered microaggressions, dehumanizing metaphors, and disguised toxicity. Get ready, woke AI is coming."
Gendered microaggressions? Dehumanizing metaphors? Disguised toxicity? What the actual fuck? What does that even mean, man?
It means that there is now a government-funded initiative by woke wankers at the University of Washington to groom an AI to essentially look at your every social media post. And if it assesses that you're using gendered microaggressions, it will be able to censor or delete your post. Gendered microaggressions means, of course, any misuse of pronouns, any disagreement about the right of trans men to kick the asses of little girls half their size in wrestling and other sports, or if you simply are not as sympathetic as the AI thinks you should be to LGBTQ+ issues and positions, then you'll be shit out of luck. Yes, my friends, if this technology goes through, and they're already working toward it courtesy of this government grant, then your freedom of speech, your freedom to disagree with woke agendas, your freedom to disregard any pronouns other than he/she, will all be curtailed and censored by whatever platforms choose to implement this technology.
Shades of 1984, Doomcock. Although at least in 1984 it took a vast bureaucracy to censor views and destroy historical documents containing facts and opinions that the government once suppressed. Now that this funding has gone through, this AI will be your one-stop shop for woke enforcement of thought and speech. Is that what you're saying?
I am indeed, O Skull of Calderon. I am indeed. But it's even worse than that. Much worse. Note that second phrase. This AI will be scanning for dehumanizing metaphors. Let's be clear here. What if the AI decides that me calling someone like Kennedy a worthless asshole is a dehumanizing metaphor? On the surface it is, isn't it? In literal and clinical terms. Now that's just shit that you say when you're angry to someone. It's a human thing to be insulting in a general way like that, and yet, what if this AI was empowered to remove posts containing anything resembling an insult? If I call someone a rat bastard online, it's not a literal assessment. It's a term conveying disapproval and contempt. And yet, isn't it conceivable that an AI could interpret such a phrase as literally a dehumanizing metaphor and censor it or remove it? In other words, an AI with this programming could become the civility police, enforcing a ruthless and relentless suppression of free speech that is hostile in tone. This AI could become an enforcer of forced civility online, not just in social media, but in comments on videos, in online reviews. It could make the internet as bland as an episode of Sesame Street or Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Not that there's anything wrong with those shows for little kids, but basically treating the rest of the world like little kids, mandating what we are allowed to say online, but also what we are allowed to read online from others, is evil, anti-American, an affront to freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Indeed, look at the third phrase that Mr. Rufo extracted from the proposal that was approved for government funding. Disguised toxicity. Disguised toxicity. My God, people, what is being proposed by the University of Washington is an AI that will, applying woke principles, suppress or delete your posts online if it even suspects that you're harboring disguised toxicity. Not even overt toxicity, which is bad enough because free speech protects even toxic speech, or it's no right at all, but disguised toxicity. So what is being proposed is an AI that analyzes your posts, and if it suspects that hidden within the post is an underlying toxicity, it will censor it or delete it. For example, my reviews of The Last Jedi or Ghostbusters 2016. I hated those fucking movies. But those reviews could be censored or removed by such an AI because, well, these are movies with stunning and brave Mary Sue's, the bestest ever. So if you do not like those movies, well, you're harboring disguised toxicity. And so your post must be deleted. Your review must be suppressed. Think about this. This is what the SJWs have been doing for years, and now they're looking to develop an AI that will do it automatically and relentlessly. But here, let's get into the details of what Mr. Rufo has uncovered and what the implications of it are. Here are the details of the proposal. The exponential growth of online social platforms provides an unprecedented source of equal opportunities for accessing expert and crowd wisdom for finding education, employment, and friendships. One key root cause that can deeply impede these experiences is the exposure to implicit social bias. The risk is high, since biases are pernicious and pervasive, and it has been well established that language is a primary means through which stereotypes and prejudice are communicated and perpetuated.
Funny thing about that is, language is also the primary means through which philosophical and intellectual ideas are communicated and perpetrated, but of course, these woke wankers don't give a shit about that.
No, they don't care about that at all, Harvey. Not at all. And that is the point. Who's to say what is intellectual and philosophical and what is pernicious and pervasive? Well, this AI will. It'll be the judge, jury, and executioner online. This project develops language technologies to detect and intervene in the language of social discrimination, sexist, racist, homophobic microaggressions, condescension. Oh my God. I regularly condescend to stupidity and the idiocy that I see online. I think that's the only sane response. For example, when Star Trek Discovery goes ahead and has sonar in space as a plot point, that is so stupid that there is no other sane response to it other than condescension and mockery. Now, condescension and mockery are not terribly civil, but they are nevertheless free speech. They are tools that woke people hate because they have no sense of humor. They cannot argue a logical case, and so they want to go ahead and shut down the kind of condescension that I do on a regular basis, proudly and objectively. But let's go ahead and move on with the other things that they hate. Objectification, dehumanizing metaphors, which I've already covered, and the like, which can be unconscious and unintentional, but cause prolonged personal and professional harms. Of course, it's also harmful to suppress speech that might contain intellectual and other kinds of insights, of course, but they don't care about that. They're just going to go ahead and squash whatever they want to. The program opens up new research opportunities with implications to natural language processing, machine learning, data science, and computational social science. It develops new web-scale algorithms to automatically detect implicit and disguised toxicity, as well as hate speech and abusive language online. See, now there you go. When I do my reviews, I am abusive to the work product that I, as a consumer, have purchased. I have the right to go ahead and have a scathing review of products that are generated by these people. I do not go into their private lives. I do not insult them personally, except insofar as I think that they are unqualified to do their job, to produce their work product, which is an entirely different thing, but it is abusive. And I'm entitled to be abusive of things that I despise, so long as it is not personally abusive, and even that is protected under free speech. Insults are free speech, but they want to go ahead and outlaw all of that, not legally, but practically by having this damn thing execute its algorithms. Successful completion of the program will pave the ground for a paradigm shift in existing ways for monitoring civility in cyberspace. Yes, you must be civil. You can no longer have spicy language. You can no longer be condescending. You can no longer be aggressive. You've got to tone all of that down. Behold the AI, the moderator of all things in the future. Shielding vulnerable populations from discrimination and aggression, and reducing the mental load of platform moderators. Oh, well, God knows. Gosh, we gotta protect those platform moderators. Of course, they knew the job was dangerous when they took it, to quote a particular song out there. But, hey, you gotta go ahead and sacrifice free speech. You gotta go ahead and sacrifice freedom of expression to make it easy for those dadgum platform moderators. Oh, bless their little hearts. Therefore, this project can benefit and empower a dramatic number of individuals, representatives of disadvantaged groups discriminated by gender, race, age, sexual orientation, ethnicity, who use social media or AI technologies built upon user-generated content. Finally, the educational curriculum developed by this program will equip future technologists with theoretical and practical tools for building ethical AI, and will substantially promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. What else? DIE, as we should call it, in STEM education, helping to foster a new, more diverse generation of researchers entering AI to carry on the good woke work of dismantling Western civilization one unruly post at a time. This shit makes me sick, folks. Now, this was a grant made by the government in September 1st, 2022 to the University of Washington. It is for $550,436 total over a course of basically 5 years. And the amount awarded to date has been $132,317. Now, you might say, This is a small amount of money, Doomcock. This is not a big deal. It is a big deal because this is out there. This idea is out there. And regardless of whether these woke wankers at the University of Washington succeed or not, eventually someone will. And if this idea is out there to use AI to deprive you of speech and me of speech and anyone that doesn't fall within the woke paradigm of their legal right to free speech, this is evil. It is pernicious. This is the canary in the coal mine. We caught it early, and I don't know if there's anything we can do to stop it, but I at least wanted to get the word out, and I commend Christopher Rufo for uncovering this disgusting plot to apply the rigid and ruthless programming of an AI in suppressing speech online, enforcing civility, suppressing aggression. Shit, maybe they'll find a way to suck out my testosterone through the interweb pipes as well. I don't know, but I did want to get the word out. I think you should be concerned, folks. I think this may be the most important video that I have ever made. From the center of the earth, this is Dichter Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay very angry.
Ha 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 ha.